Okay, so what do you guys like about music over here that maybe some other countries don't have?
I like supporting Scottish bands because I like hearing the sort of like influences from home. I love hearing why they're singing about certain places and their wee voices and stuff like that. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a kind of, I suppose, a patriotic kind of supporting bands from your own country.
I always find that in America or what have you, in the States, the music over there is very commercial. They sort of, it's all very manufactured by someone. It's kind of like Simon Cowell from the X Factor's taking over.
Right, right.
So, whereas over here you get a lot of people that have their own wee styles, their own voices, and it sort of, yeah, I like that about it.
Do you think that the UK kind of influences other countries more, or do you think that you find more influences from other countries on your music?
I think the UK is pretty kind of forward thinking. I think it influences most of Europe, and its kind of influences are going across to America now as well with artists, certain artists like Adele and people who are kind of take America by storm, and that's kind of influenced a lot of American artists that style.
Some of the most iconic bands in history are British.
Right. Yeah. Why do you think that is?
Just going back to that individuality thing, over here we're allowed to just express whatever we want and it's not manufactured by some sort of big company. You get a lot of people who are on very small labels and they just sort of appeal to a much wider audience. Like that, what bands?
So what were your influences for these pictures right here? I see the one with the Beatles and the iPhone, and I'm just really curious.
Well, because I can't meet these guys, Lennon's dead obviously, and Paul McCartney's hard to access. I work from photographs, and this is a wonderful series of photographs by an English photographer called David Bailey. And I used that as a reference point, and then tried to introduce some 21st century technology into the 60s image. I might get an iPod. Clearly they couldn't list an iPod. And just took it from there. There's very subtle lyric on their faces. But just trying to sort of combine the 60s with the 21st century.
And how do you think music from, you know, like the 60s when the Beatles were popular has continued to impact music over here?
Well, I'm continually surprised by how many really young kids love the Beatles. I used to teach art in a college in Scotland, and 90% of the kids who are under 20 love the Beatles. It seems to cross boundaries of age.
Right.
It'll be with us for a long time, like Mozart is today.
What are some of the characteristics that you think maybe the Beatles or big bands like The Who and things like that have that maybe other bands don't, that make them still so popular today?
I think it's an effervescence and a liveliness, an ability to communicate with the youth, or in my case, not so youthful people. Ability to communicate and let off steam.
Right.
And also at the time it was very rebellious, because Britain had just come through the Second World War, and it was quite an austere country to live in. And this kind of freshness that the Beatles and the Stones and the Who brought was revolutionary and gave us a kind of free spirit, which we exploited. And I still feel that free spirit coming through today when I'm an old git.
What kind of artists do you think nowadays kind of have this power and captivation over audiences?
There's a lot of great bands. I love Arcade Fire.
Arcade
Canadian
Fire.
band, aren't they? A lot of my kids keep me in touch with new music. I love the old country music scene in the southern states of America. Calexico, Willard Grant Conspiracy, and the Hanson Family, stuff like that. It's fabulous. Music brings us all together. And just open your mind to it. I still love Bob Dylan. New album's out next week.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Looking forward to that.
The music over here, what makes it distinctive?
As opposed to American?
As opposed to American or any other parts of the world?
I think a lot of people write stories with their hometowns autobiographically. When I was growing up, it's still the same today. No, it's not the same today. When I was growing up, we were very influenced by American music, because it's so far ahead of us, pre-Beatles. And it sort of gave me a inquiring mind about what happened in the States and what kind of culture it was. Am I getting off the question here? I'm rambling, aren't I?
No, not at all, not at all.